Okay. Whoa, it spoke to me. That was interesting. We're gonna get started. You guys, I know that you're just as pumped as I am to have Whitney here. If you know her, if you've heard her speak before, you know how valuable she is, how wise she is. And so I'm so grateful for you to be here. So Whitney is a wife, a mom. She is just has the biggest heart, and she just speaks so much truth. And so she warned me, so I'm gonna warn you guys. Tonight's not going to be fluffy. It's not going to be soft and rainbows and feel good. It's going to probably be a little more intense than you're used to, but you guys probably know that's where the growth comes. So buckle up. I hope you have something to take note.
Okay, cut out for a second. Am I good to go, Britt? Okay, sweet. Thank you guys for letting me come again. I'm so excited. I have been thinking about this for a while. And I reached out to Britt and I was like, I've got something. And she's totally right. Like when I want to preface this because uh this is mindset training, but you're going to walk away and you might feel a little bruised. I'm just giving you this heads up. The reason I think that this is super important is because most of you have probably come off of this high from this weekend and you've been with people that you love and you have been motivated and excited. And you get back into real life and you're thinking like, okay, now what? Like, what do I need to do? And so I'm going to give you really actionable steps tonight, but I also think that this is really incredible timing because your fearless leader, if you're under Brit, is going for Royal Diamond this month, you guys. And I am like, I want there to be nothing that gets in her way and nothing that gets in your way and nothing that gets in your team's way. So if this is like a new call, if you are just now getting into the business, like brace yourself. But if you've been doing this for a little while, like this might be exactly what you need to move forward. Okay. So there's my preface. If you haven't been on a call with me before, my name's Whitney. I live in Colorado Springs with my husband and 3 kiddos. Hopefully they won't come barging in here anytime soon, but I am excited to share. I'm a life coach for entrepreneurs. So you guys are my people. Like so many of my clients are on this call tonight. It is such a joy. So here we go. Buckle up. Okay. So here are some things that I've been seeing. And if you're one of my clients, know that I am not talking specifically about you. I want to preface that. This is something that I'm seeing not only in my free Facebook group, but some of my clients, some of the people that I am surrounded with. And so I feel like it's really important to bring up. But the what I'm titling this tonight is Get Out of Your Own Way. And I'm gonna walk you through some of the things that you may be thinking and feeling, and then I'm gonna give you some hope and some solutions. But first, we're gonna dig into some hard. Okay. So I want you to just sit with some of these really quick and see if these are resonating with you tonight. But here are a couple thoughts. All right. If these are some of your thoughts, this is going to be a good training for you. I feel stuck in my business. I feel like I've got analysis paralysis. Like I am thinking all the time about what I need to do, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know what it takes. Like there's something different about me and she's growing and I don't understand why. Like what's wrong with what I'm doing or who I am. My team isn't growing. Like I've done everything I know how to do, what to do, but my team's not working. They're not doing anything. Or maybe it's like I'm fighting with my spouse all the time because I'm spending so much time doing this and I'm not seeing any results and I'm hustling my butt off and I'm not growing. And so I literally don't know what else to do. I'm so frustrated. And all I see is everybody else succeeding and growing except for me. Okay. If this is you, I'm going to give you a few more thoughts. What about this one? Something that I've done or something that has happened to me is keeping me from finding success. All right. And I've had this as an entrepreneur. Like, what if this one thing that happened in my life means that I don't get to have it all? One of the biggest, like a $1 million leader in this industry recently told me, she said, I really truly believe that I can't make $1 million and have a good marriage and also be skinny. She was like, in my brain, I just don't believe that all of those things could be true about my life. All right. So she's like, there is this thought that something has to be able to be falling through the cracks in order for me to see success. Okay. Maybe it's I don't deserve the success. I don't actually even deserve to get to the top because there's something that has happened or something that I've done. And because of that, I like that's not even attainable for me. Um, Maybe it is like I'm not doing enough, I'm not enough, this isn't possible for me. These are all lack mentalities, okay? So the lack mentality is it's always going to be this way. Nothing's going to change. This is just the way that things are, okay? Here are the feelings that are coming. Remember, I've talked about this before, but all of our actions and results come from thoughts. So those are the thoughts that you might be experiencing. Here are the emotions that you might understand or that might seem familiar to you. I feel shame. I feel guilt. I feel overwhelmed. I feel stressed. I'm anxious. I've got anxiety. I feel confused. I am doubting myself. I feel sorry for myself. Whatever it is, like these are the emotions that are caused because of the thoughts that you are creating or allowing. Okay. Here's what happens. Okay. So your thoughts create your emotions, which creates your actions. This is what you're doing because of those thoughts. Hustle. I can force it. Like no matter what's going on in my life, I'm fighting with my spouse all the time. I don't feel like I'm enough, but I'm just going to like get down and dirty and I'm just going to do all the things. I don't care what my thoughts are. I don't care how I'm feeling. I'm just going to do it. Right? And it's a forced, it's forcing something that shouldn't be forced. That's where we find ourselves in inauthenticity. Maybe we're stuffing down all those emotions. Maybe we're in denial about those emotions. Maybe we make ourselves feel really small to make everyone else feel better about themselves because it's easier to just go hide. It's easier to just like pull back and let everybody else get the spotlight because I don't deserve that anyway. There's no way that I can actually achieve that. Okay. Maybe it's buffering. We're going to talk about buffering in a little bit. Here's what's actually keeping you from the results that you want, the results that you're trying to create. Maybe it's a fear of success. It could be a lack of boundaries. It could be shame. It could be trauma. Aside from like actual trauma, we can also have a victim mentality that says like, the world is totally against me. This isn't fair. Something like I feel like I'm always at the back of the line. Okay. Here's the thing. These thoughts are not serving you, right? They're not doing anything for you except keeping you stuck. And the more you stay in this perpetual cycle, the more your brain reinforces those thoughts. Okay? Here's the good news. I'm going to tell you what's actually available to you. Okay? I was thinking about a friend of mine who you probably know Kristen Boss, but she is leading the industry in organic marketing. She's doing a great job in that. But I've watched her grow from not owning a huge business and being a hairstylist to this $1 million business. And I resonate with some of the things that she's done because what I've seen in my own life is there's been something that I've wanted, maybe a career change or a job change. Maybe it was like a promotion at work or a rank at my past company or a goal that I wanted to hit in like as a life coach. And here's like the kicker right here. I see it and I find the resources to make it happen and then I make it happen, which sounds super simple, but what's underlying under all of that is the belief that it's possible for me. And I think that it's so easy to tell yourself that this isn't possible for you because of blank, because I've never done it before, because I don't have this, because I've gone through this, because I've done this in the past. And I'm here like tonight, I want you to walk away from this and I want you to know I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care if you've been to prison. I don't care if you, whatever it is, I want you to know that is an experience that you had in the past that no longer defines who you are today. And you are making that define you. You are allowing that to define what you are capable of. And you're okay with that right now. Like, it makes me emotional to think that there's 332 people on this call, and the majority of you actually hold the belief that this may not actually work for me. Here's the deal. That is a lie. This works for everybody. This is one of the only opportunities out there where it actually can work for you. You are in your own way. You are the only person that is allowing the thoughts of this is holding me back. So if you're done with that, if you're done with those thoughts, awesome. I'm going to tell you how to get over them. Okay, the goal of this, I want you to be able to step into success with ease. Like, I want you to be able to hit your rank on the 28th of the month and go out to dinner with your family on the 29th and not have to even worry about what that looks like, okay? I want you to grow without guilt of earning an income that you believe you haven't actually earned or you don't deserve. I want you to grow without that guilt. I want you to be able to step into your purpose fully. And I'm going to tell you how to do that in a minute. I want you to be able to grow without the hustle. One of the main differences in hustle and hard work is you forcing something, which is out of a lack mentality. It's out of a scarcity mentality of, if I don't do this and if I don't hustle, this isn't going to work. Abundance mindset says, I know this is going to work, and I'm going to show up consistently and do the things that I know I'm supposed to and work my butt off. And I'm going to make sure that it comes from a place of knowing that this is possible. That's the difference. The difference is belief. Okay. I want you to be able to break through the barriers. I want you to be able to build quality relationships. Like, this is all absolutely possible for you. It's a decision that you get to make right now. Okay, so here's the solution. Ready? I'm going to give you 3 steps. This is where the meat of it happens. Stop buffering. Okay? Buffering is when we actually use external things to change how we feel emotionally. Okay? So that could look like it is hiding from fully experiencing our lives. It's procrastinating. It's not wanting to face the truth of what's going on in our life because we don't want to feel negative emotions. Okay? So here's what the world is telling us. We are entitled to happiness and pleasure all of the time. And I'll prove that to you. Just go eat something. Honey, just go buy something. Just go, you can just do that. Like, just take care of and I am the queen of self-care, but here's what happens. It's like, just take care of yourself right now. You just need to take care of. Here's where the problem lies, is you are using those as an excuse to actually do the things that you know are required to build a business. There are times when it is right to take care of yourself. And there are times when it is right to make sure that you are like, I fully believe always, always, always put your family first. In my house, it is my relationship with Jesus and then my family. Okay. But I don't use those things as an excuse to get down and do the things that I want to do because I know I'm called to something massive. Right? Okay, so we're not going to buffer anymore. When you find yourself saying, I just need a break, I just can't do it all, I want you to really ask yourself where that is coming from. And if it's coming from a place of, I'm trying to hide or I'm trying to not feel negative emotions, then check it. Okay. Here's the second thing. And this is going to come as kind of a shock, but I encounter people all of the time that are past focused. Okay, here's what I mean. You're being defined by who you used to be without taking control of who you want to be. Okay, so here's some of the things that you might hear, that you might even tell yourself. It's just how I've always done it. That just doesn't work for me. I've already tried it. I've actually had this issue like my whole life. This is just how I am. Like, this is just like the way that I am. I'm not the kind of person that can do something like that. Maybe I've always been overweight. That's just who I am. It's like part of my self-concept at this point. Or I'm not good at that. I'm like, I've never been able to do that well. I want like you, sorry, but these are that trash. Like you are no longer allowed to use those anymore. Here's a thought that I can offer up to you. What about this? My life happened exactly as it was supposed to. There were no mistakes, just lessons and preparation. My life has happened exactly as it was supposed to. Okay? Here's the thing, there's no reason to argue with the past if like it's just a waste of emotional energy, and so many of you are using so much emotional energy to fight with your spouse or to be shamed by something that happened, and all of your thoughts and energy is taken up with worry and fear and overwhelm. You are choosing that. That is a choice you are making, okay? Instead, I want you to take that energy and focus it on your future, which is actually something that you can affect, something that you can change. Okay. If you're feeling worry and anxiety and overwhelm, I want you to start choosing your thoughts. What emotion do I want to feel right now? What do I want to believe about myself and what I'm capable of right now? And if you can't get there, if you can't think those thoughts and choose those thoughts, you find someone who is better at those thoughts than you are, and you ask them to partner with you so that you can encourage one another all the time. Okay? Here's the third one, and this is the most important one, and this is where the heat comes. Okay? Y'all are not taking responsibility for your own business. All right? You are leaning. Okay, so, and I want to preface this by saying there are systems and processes that Q has put into place that are outstanding. Like they are built, they are proven and tested. So this is not the process that I'm talking about, okay? But here's what's happening. You are leaning on a process to give you the responsibility of the outcome. Here's what's happening. Your thought is that if I just follow this, if I just do everything I'm supposed to, if it doesn't work out, it's not on me, because it's just like it just doesn't work. Here's the deal. You are giving all of your power away when you do that. Do you want to know where you're like my husband asked me this the other day, and I was like, and I thought it was a super interesting question. He said, "What's your superpower?" I was like, "Oh, I have a superpower?" You have a superpower, you just may not know it yet. But what happens is when you give your responsibility to a system or a process to do the work for you, in order to avoid a negative outcome, you are giving your power away. When we don't have full 100% responsibility, we don't actually own the outcomes. Okay, so here's two sides of the spectrum that might seem familiar. If my team won't work, it's just up to them. I can't control what they do. They just have to figure it out on their own. I'm just like, if they're not going to do it, I'm not going to drag them. Okay. So there's one like end of the spectrum where it's like, they just got to figure it out. Right. Then you've got this other end where it's, if I don't do everything, like I do anything and everything for my team, because if I don't, they won't do it for themselves. So I'm just going to give them like all of the things that they need, and I'm always going to be there, and I'm going to answer every single question. What's happening is you are in overcompensating energy. This comes from it actually comes from a place of lack as well, and it comes from the thought, I'm not enough, they're not enough, this is not enough, so I have to control it. Both come from a place of lack. Okay. There's this happy medium right in the middle where we just take responsibility of our business. If you think about, I might have used this analogy before, but if you think about like, I've got a sister-in-law who just opened a brick and mortar business. Okay. So it's this beautiful business, and she opened up a storefront. Imagine if she would have said, I think I'm just going to take out like a $50,000 loan. I'm going to stock the shelves. Like, let's just try it for a month, see if it works. And if not, we'll just like close the doors. Like, not a big deal. Are you kidding me? Like, that is not how it works. That is not how businesses work. In the real world, you put all of your eggs in that basket because you know that basket is what's going to lead you to success. Right now, what's happening is you're treating your business like a side hustle. So you're making side hustle income right now. If you want to actually make life changing, life altering, royal diamond income, treat it like a full-time job. This is what is going to give you your freedom. I'll just let you in on like a little secret in my life right now. I'm going through master coach certification, and one of the ways that I have not ever been stressed, it's a $21,000 investment in addition to 15K with my coach and a $25,000 investment into another coaching program that I just made. Okay, just to coach myself, right? This investment, the reason that it doesn't feel stressful to me is because I earned a paycheck with a network marketing company and I still make a 4-figure paycheck every single month that covers the cost of this. I'm not even working it anymore. I'm not even doing anything. That is the power of residual income. If Q is not your thing for the rest of your life, that's totally fine. It may just be a vehicle to your next. But if you treat it like it's a side hustle, that residual wealth will never find its way to you. Ever. If you want this to work, treat it like it's going to work. Okay. So the easy thing to do is to say, like, I tried the system, it didn't work. Here's a thought that I want to offer you. Okay. If I trust that I only bring people into my life that are committed to the same outcome that I am, then I can stay in 100% responsibility. But then I also attract people who also feel that 100% responsibility. If you are telling people, like, and this may be controversial to you, but if you are only sharing Britt's story about going Royal Diamond and how this is what's going to happen for every person, you are preaching an exception, not the norm. Okay? The norm is that this actually might take some time to grow. The exception is somebody like Britt, who's actually working very diligently, very hard every single day. But many people don't have the belief, the work ethic, or the determination to actually make that happen. But you're pitching her story as if that's what's going to happen to every person that joins your team. And then the first week that they're in, they realize, oh, this actually takes work. They're like, I'm out. I'm not like, this is more than I bargained for. What would happen if you actually like showed up and said, here's the deal. I'm working this at 100%. And if you work it at 100%, you and I can do really big things. Okay. Here's the hope that I'm going to give you. Okay. Living in that amount of abundance in your life and business, like having that amount of power and control over your outcomes seems really scary. But it actually is more safe. It's safer and it's more predictable. When you step fully into your business and own who you are and what you've gone through and the things that you've accomplished, and you show up 100% authentically you, that is owning the process. That is taking 100% responsibility. Everyone follows the process differently. Okay, no matter what system is there, it all has your flavor on it. Okay, but when you like it, will always produce its best result when it comes from you, when it's spoken out of your mouth with your flair, because you are taking 100% responsibility of your business. I want you to feel what it's like to control the outcome of this. And it's not relying on something else. It's relying on yourself to show up. And then what happens is the process actually just magnifies what you're already bringing to the table. Okay, so here's a question that I was asked the other day that I think is really profound. What do you think not showing up this way has cost you up until this point? And what do you think, like, if you don't start showing up and taking responsibility, this may be an easier one to answer, but what is it costing you in the future? If you don't show up today and take responsibility of your business and stop buffering and stop living in what happened in the past and adopt the belief that this is possible, what's it going to cost you? because I've heard that the worst possible investment that you can make is in fear. And a lot of you are putting a ton of stock right now in fear. And it's such BS. Because if you truly knew how God strategically designed you, if you were there when he was forming you and figuring out what he wanted you to be and what he wanted you to accomplish, you would be mortified at the thoughts that you are creating for your life right now. He sees so much potential in who you are and who you've been created to be. I want you to really sit with the thought, what is this costing me to not step in and take this responsibility? Okay? I know that was tough, but I believe like I had he's a financial coach and he coaches he coaches $1 million earners. I mean, he like looks over their accounts and he is it's incredible what he's doing. And he said this about network marketing recently. He said network marketing is in of itself its own economy, actually. Like it is the only thing, you guys know this, but it is the only thing that actually grows through a recession. Like you are sitting on a pot of gold and you are choosing a life that has existed to define what you're capable of. If you're done with this, I have full belief that this is totally available to you to grow this and to do this well. It's a matter of you showing up. And it's a matter of this business showing up and meeting and giving each other 100% of yourself. Okay. Two last things. If you I do one-on-one coaching just as that's my main thing that I do, one-on-one coaching for an hour every week for 6 months. If that's something you're interested in, you can come find me on social media or my website, whitneykroneberger.com, whatever you want to do. But more than anything, I want you to sit and reflect tonight on what do you want this business to actually look like? So that's the first thing. What do you believe is available to you? What could this cost you if you don't change? And then I really want you to sit and start paying attention to the thoughts that you've been allowing and choosing. And then I want you to start making those switches. What is a thought that I can choose that is going to actually serve me today? This thought isn't serving me. I'm going to choose a thought that is. Okay. That's what I got for you. I would love to take questions if you've got them. I can look through comments and stuff too, but if you guys have questions or anything, I'll take them too.
You guys, if you have questions, don't be shy. We can do questions for a few minutes and then we can cut it off.
Oh, can you repeat those questions? Okay. What do I want this business to look like? I kind of made those up on the spot. What do I want this business to look like? What is this costing me if I don't change? Who am I? Did I say who am I becoming? I'll have to go back and look at it. Who do I want to become? What thoughts am I choosing right now? Yeah, we'll make it a recording. What thoughts am I choosing right now that are not serving me? I will say, like, from the bottom of my heart, like I coach a lot of people in Q, and it is astounding the difference that this company is making, and it's like you'll have no excuses. That's the truth. Make this comment box bigger.
Hey, I had one question, and this was kind of been difficult for me in my business. How do you approach friends about it when you want them to sign on, but they just sit there and they tell you all the problems, and you're sitting there going, I'm offering you a solution to your problems. Take it
Yeah.
before I wring your neck.
Yeah. That is a really good question. Here's the thing I'll say. I believe that there is such value in holding space well for someone. And so being able to hold space for somebody who is not ready to do something like this, not ready to take the responsibility, is a gift. So there's the friend approach. But if they're telling you this is like, I need to change, and this is something that I know could help me, that is when coming and taking that responsibility and grabbing and linking arms and bringing them along with you is what's necessary. Some people though, and I hear it all the time, some people really don't care about change. They're fine where they're at. And it's a good idea to ask those questions on the front end. What are you willing? Where are you at right now? Where do you want to go? And are you willing to do the hard thing to get there?
And some people will make you feel like they want to change, but a lot of people actually just love to complain, and they don't want a solution. They just want to complain.
Whitney, can you talk about the buffering thing a little bit more?
Yeah.
That was a big trigger for me today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so buffering is like it's basically when we use external things to hide or to avoid or to deny or be in denial about what's expected of us. So it is what I said was buffering is when we use external things to change how we feel emotionally. So it could look like, okay, so there's two different kinds of buffering. There's avoiding, and then denial. Avoiding, I've used this with my clients. Avoiding is like, I'm aware of what's there, but it's like a beach ball that I'm trying to hold underneath the water. Like I'm aware of these thoughts and emotions, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with it right now. So I'm just like holding the beach ball under the water. And basically what you're doing is fighting, like using all of your energy to fight the beach ball down so it doesn't projectile up. Okay. Denial is like over drinking, overeating. What problem? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. I don't even know what you're saying. So there's kind of two different types of buffering, but it's when we use those negative emotions as a cushion to mask what's really going on, and we call them indulgent emotions, where we sit and we're comfortable with one emotion and we go there all the time. It could be overwhelm. So it could look like I just feel overwhelmed all the time. I feel overwhelmed getting my kids ready for school. I feel overwhelmed with all my responsibilities. And so it's really easy to just sit back and be in overwhelm, because that's an indulgent emotion. It's what we feel comfortable in. Buffering is when we say, like, it's okay to be here. I'm just going to be okay being here. I'm going to be okay being in overwhelm. I'm just going to take really good care of myself. And it's using it as a buffer to not do the things that we need to do. Does that help? Okay.
Quick question.
Yes.
So I just started, I've never really been in multi-level marketing. And I've been working really hard and doing great, but I feel like that there's like a little bit of a hang up. I'm a Christian too. And I feel like I'm like, should I want to like be a millionaire? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel almost like, is that what God wants for me, to like go after money, or should I be like going after people? Should I give it all away? I know it sounds like I'm not a really great person. I'm not trying to be like all, do you know what I'm saying?
No,
But
this is super common.
That's like that limiting belief kind of thing, I think, is what you're talking about. But like acknowledging it, knowing that about myself, and like shame and those kinds of things and trauma and all that stuff. Like I know all of these things. I'm older. I've gone through them. I've worked through these things, but it's like, I feel like my mind, like even taking captive the thoughts, it's just like a energy that's around me, where I feel like, I don't know if it's like, I did this Tony Robbins thing the other day, and I was like, oh, maybe, anyways, I don't want to take up all the time, but I'm just saying, like, I just wonder, like, is there a thought you could give where it's like, how do you just kind of nip it and move and not like,
really good question.
or even just realize that it's there in a sense where you can just kind of Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so tangibly, I really like to break it down to, if instead of thinking of it right now, instead of thinking of it as like what happens when I make $1 million, I want you to just like break it down to what happens if I make 5,000. Like make it in, chunks that you can easily digest. Start there. Start smaller. Like what would 5,000 look like a month? What would that do for me? What would that do for my family? The second thing is, if you look at all of the most powerful people in the world and what they've accomplished, one of the things that they all have in common is a lot of money. And I think that we, especially as believers, want to pull ourselves back and hide, because we believe that power equals something bad. It's something negative. And really, I think that the world obviously needs more powerful people at the top with the thoughts and beliefs like you have, right? So you're robbing the world of the gifts that God has given you and the belief that you have in yourself and the faith that you have by keeping yourself from experiencing that. One of the books that I love is called The Big Leap, and it'll talk about kind of those limiting beliefs and how you kind of cap yourself. It's a really short read, super easy, but I would go grab that. Yeah.
Hey, Whit, there's like an overwhelming yes that we should maybe make that the next topic.
Oh, I love it. I love money so much, you guys. I love talking about it. Money and sex, like I'm all about it. You tell me, like, bring it on. I would love to do that. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, well then let's plan that. I don't want to take up too much more of your guys' time unless you have anything else, Whit. Whit and I will chat and plan a money mindset training for you guys, because I think that is another huge thing that does hold people back. We limit ourselves because we feel guilty. There's that shame around money.
Mm-hmm.
So yep, I think we picked our next topic.
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
What do you do when your team members and yourself are buffering together?
Okay. Biggest thing here is you cannot control your team member. So the only person that you can control is you. So you get to decide how you're going to stop buffering, change it for yourself, be the example first, and then you can go and train your team. If this, like,
I'm talking about my upline, sorry, not below me, but like who I go to for questions.
Yeah. Probably a similar thing, like uplines, downlines, sidelines, husband, kids. Like the only thing that I coach on is my results, my thoughts, my emotions, and how those affect me. Because when we get caught up with how can I control this person and how can I keep this person from doing this or just stop doing this, we get it limits our growth and caps us. So biggest thing is you can only focus on yourself, just focus on that. And then when you get to a place where you feel like you've mastered that, then you can go out and teach other people about it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's that we can only control ourselves and not our upline, our downline, sidelines. Go ahead, Philip.
Yeah. Quick question. Do you have a podcast, Whitney?
Oh, I love that question. I don't yet. I'm sketching it right now, but I don't. I've got a couple of, if you don't listen to Kristen Bosch, she'd be a good one, especially because she talks to network marketers. But there are a couple mindset podcasts. I love anything John Maxwell, but I listen to a lot of life coaching podcasts. I can give you a list after this, but it's coming this year. It's coming. It's just not out quite yet.
Good.
Yeah. Everything was fire. Just hitting me.
Yeah, that's what I like.
I feel like you took us to business church. And I feel like you have a way of giving us like just straight truth and like a kick in the butt, but also so lovingly. I don't think there's been any bruising. I think it's been all just really good. I already got a text from someone that said that God spoke to them through you already tonight.
Good. That is totally my heart, you guys.
I think there's gonna be a lot more stories like that. So Whitney, thank you so much. I adore you. I'm so grateful for you. You guys, I want you to really reflect on what she said, dig deep and think of what's holding you back, and think of how not only who would miss out if you didn't show up, but how will you miss out if you don't show up. And you hear it all the time. If you work at like a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby, but I loved the analogy that Whitney gave about you wouldn't go open up a brick and mortar that would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars and then see how it goes for a month. No, you work your butt off to make it happen because that's what you do. And the same thing here, except we don't have quite that overhead. So it just makes all the more sense to go all in like you would there. So many good nuggets. I will put this on my YouTube so you guys can go back and watch it and share it with your teams. But thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up and for making it this a priority. Whit, thank you again so much. You're awesome. All right. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks.